After 11 chapters of dominating everyone, Boruto receives his first crushing defeat at the hands of Jura, and it is not looking good. But not before proving just again how broken his powers really are. If you thought the Rasengan Uzuhiko he used on Code was broken, check out what Boruto just did to Hidari. Not only that, but we've figured out how Kawaki will get his next power up and have come up with a nice theory thanks to the help of soul thorns, but we'll save that for later. We all know Kawaki can't afford to take any more L's, so make sure to stick around to hear what we think he will do to bring his stocks back up and how these so-called soul thorns will help him. Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 12 has just dropped, and believe me when I tell you, this chapter is peak. Hey everyone, welcome back to AJ Anime, and here's everything you need to know about the newest Boruto chapter. Starting off with the cover page, we have Sumire to finally grace us with her presence even though she does absolutely nothing in this chapter. Titled Thorn Spirit, this month's chapter touches on what happens to the Shinju once they're defeated. Now the chapter picks up right where we left off in chapter 11, with Boruto saving Himawari from Jura and Sarada from Hidari. And check out the Uchiha aura Boruto has as he stands in front of Hidari. He looks just like Sasuke did with his cloak and sword, and this image is a callback to when Sasuke saved Naruto from Jigen, which is a really nice touch. We then see Boruto putting Himawari down as he tells Konohamaru to protect her. At the same time, Hidari attacks Boruto with his left-handed scythe, which is parried by Boruto's sword, followed by a new jutsu called Wind Element Breakthrough. This confirms that Boruto didn't use the same Gale Palm jutsu like we saw against Naruto in Part 1, but an entirely new jutsu instead. As Hidari is pushed back, he disappears into a claw mark, getting ready for his next move. We then see Kawaki and Delta in the sky as they have finally arrived to Jura's location, as Kawaki is still stuck on Boruto and his current location. Meanwhile, Delta checks in with the sensory team to get the status of Team 10 and Himawari, to which it is confirmed that Team 10 is injured as they moved towards the new city, while Himawari is with Sarada, Konohamaru, and Boruto. Delta tells Kawaki the status of everyone, but he is more curious as to why Jura is just standing in place doing nothing. Now, this panel of Kawaki staring down Jura is absolutely hilarious, because you literally see the PTSD on Kawaki's face as he is thinking very carefully about approaching him or not. It seems as though Kawaki finally realizes that he's no match for Jura, but he also could have been prioritizing saving Himawari instead of fighting Jura, so we'll give him a pass this time. We then move back to the village, as Konohamaru questions Boruto about his motives as he is hated within the village and needs to understand his current situation. But Sarada comes to her man's defense, saying that if it wasn't for Boruto, she would have been absorbed. Reluctantly, Konohamaru shows that he understood the situation by warning Boruto that the enemy can freely move between the claw marks, which we know Boruto is already aware of. Boruto then orders the sensory team ninja to focus all his attention on all the claw marks in the area and not to let the slightest trace of chakra slip past him, to which the sensory unit ninja isn't fond of the idea of being ordered around by a criminal. Sumire then tells Boruto that Hidari is targeting Sarada after realizing that Hidari kept his focus on her even with Konohamaru at point-blank range, which Sarada then adds the fact that Hidari is trying to devour her and asks if it is a connection to what happened with Sasuke becoming a tree. Konohamaru also catches on and then asked if the subject is related to Moegi being turned into a tree as well. Boruto then explains how Hidari is being born from Sasuke's chakra, but reassures them that the only thing they need to focus on is taking him down in order to save Sasuke. However, Konohamaru isn't done with his questions, as he asks how Boruto has all this information, to which he calmly replies by telling Konohamaru to focus or he will be killed. Suddenly, the sensory unit ninja picks up on the moving chakra signature within the claw marks, to which Boruto asks him from which direction, but he doesn't know. Next, a group of claw grimes appear from the claw marks, and Boruto tells Sarada to only focus on countering any attacks that come her way, since Hidari is after her while he defeats the claw grimes. Boruto and Sarada begin their attacks on the claw grimes, with Boruto cutting them down and Sarada using her physical strength, when suddenly, Hidari appears from the claw mark on the stomach of a claw grime and grabs Sarada's leg. But before he can absorb her, Boruto hits the back of the head of the claw grime with a shuriken and teleports behind them, instantly attacking Hidari with a Rasengan to his back. This panel reminds us of when Minato fought against Obito, where he teleported using his kunai to attack him with his Rasengan to the back. I'm sure most fans thought of the same thing when they saw this panel of Boruto, as he continues to remind us just how busted Minato actually was, so make sure to give this video a like if you had the same thoughts. We also have to note that Sarada is still not using her Sharingan even in the midst of battle, where it would be advantageous of her to actually put it to use in order to help them find Hidari within the claw marks. Had she actually used it, she might have prevented Hidari from catching her in the first place. Moving on, we see Hidari retreat to their base, which is the ninetails dimension that had that black box we've seen in previous chapters. We then see some roots that come down from a tree to heal the damage done to Hidari from Boruto's Rasengan, and I think this is actually located below the ninetails, but that is just a prediction. Hidari then appears back to the battlefield and summons several claw marks to surround Sarada and Boruto. Sarada suggests that Boruto fly in the air to lure Hidari out and attack him with another Rasengan, but he tells her that flying isn't an option because he will finish Hidari off in one blow with a maximum output Rasengan Uzuhiko. Confused by what he is talking about, Boruto explains to Sarada that this new Rasengan uses the rotation of the planet to call forth planetary chakra. Now, as the audience, we already knew this information from his battle with Code, but what we didn't know was that the power of the Rasengan Uzuhiko is limitless, as it is determined by how much chakra from the planet Boruto can infuse into the attack. Boruto then explains that he can't fly because he has to take in the chakra of the planet through his feet from the ground itself, and needs time to do so, which kind of explains the wind funnel that always appears around him when he uses his jutsu. As he builds up his chakra, a hand charged up with a lightning attack appears behind Boruto, to which Konohamaru suddenly appears and attacks the hand using his Rasen Shuhiki or Rasen Barricade to defend Boruto and Sarada. Boruto then asks Konohamaru why he saved them, when he's supposed to be protecting Himawari, to which he responds saying he decided what he wants to prioritize, and then tells Boruto that if he has the time to complain, then he needs to focus on charging up his jutsu. Hidari then pops up again, but this time he grabs Sarada as he tries to drag her down. But Sarada said she ain't no damsel in distress, as she defends herself using the Chidori current jutsu, followed by using her insane strength to throw Hidari towards Boruto. It's crazy to see that even after Hidari's first surprise attack, Sarada has still not activated her Sharingan to help her in the fight, but we will save that for discussion later. Anyways, Sarada asked Boruto if the preparations for the jutsu are done, to which he responds saying it's not fully charged yet, but it's now or never. Boruto attacks Hidari with the Uzuhiko, and the damage is insane. The funnel that was surrounding Boruto suddenly envelops the entire area in a massive swirl of chakra, and we catch a glimpse of Hidari's Rinnegan as he realizes he's about to get the endgame screen. When the Uzuhiko jutsu appears, we see that the only thing left of Hidari is his head and left arm, as the rest of his body was destroyed. But as he is falling towards the ground, Boruto notices the claw marks below him, and realizes that Hidari will use the marks to escape and regenerate, but he prepares to attack him again before he can do so. Suddenly, the claw marks shrink and disappear as Hidari falls to the ground with no means of escape. And it was at this moment when Kawaki appears and prepares to finish off Hidari, saying he will put him out of his misery before completely destroying what was left of him. Now, as much as I'd like to give Kawaki his props for defeating Hidari, we can't give him the credit, because he only came in after Boruto did all the work, so no stock increases here. But we will give him some participation points. From the remains of Hidari appear a strange fruit with a Rinnegan eye in the middle, which Boruto quickly grabs, as everyone is confused by it. He then asked Kashin Koji to confirm the object, which he confirmed that it is indeed what he saw and called it a soul thorn or thorn ball, depending on how you translate it. But Kawaki grabs Boruto, asking him to explain what's going on, to which Boruto tells him that the soul thorn is needed in order to save Sasuke, and that if Kawaki doesn't remove his hand, he will cut it off. But Kawaki continues with his questions, as he asks where his information is coming from. Suddenly, we see a beam pierce Boruto through his chest, causing him to drop the soul thorn and drop to the ground, as Sarada and Sumire are shocked by what they just saw. As everyone rushes towards Boruto, Kawaki asks Delta what happened, to which we see Jura in the air, saying that he missed his vitals as he prepares another Bijou Beam attack similar to the one he used against Himawari. Delta can't believe that Jura is sniping them from so far, but we then see Sarada attempt to grab the soul thorn, but not before Jura sends his beam through her arm. As she falls down in pain, the soul thorn is seen flying towards Jura as everyone else looks on as they are helpless in stopping the fruit from getting away. This man Jura is more busted than we thought, as he literally sniped both Boruto and Sarada from several miles away with his hands in his pockets still. He's out there looking like Mina from Kaiju number 8, but with way better precision. We then see Jura retrieving the fruit, as he is shocked to know that Boruto knew about the soul thorns, which makes him more of a threat than he originally thought. He then stated that Kawaki will be more than enough food for the ninetails, as he determined that he will kill Boruto instead of consuming him, and with this, the chapter ends. Now, we have to point out that the same thing happened during Jigen's fight against Naruto and Sasuke, when he realized that Sasuke was a threat due to his time-space ninjutsu and his ability to break down his opponent's abilities, and decided to kill him instead of sealing him away with Naruto. Jura seems to not want to take any further precautions with Boruto, and feels as though killing him outright will be the best outcome, and realizes that it would be much easier to devour Kawaki in order to get the job done. But we also need to talk about Sarada, because I expected to see more of her Sharingan in this fight, but it wasn't shown at all. I wonder if it's an issue with her chakra, but that can't be the case, since she's an Uchiha, so the drain on her chakra shouldn't be a problem for her. And we are still waiting to see her Mangekyo Sharingan, but after all this time, I believe she doesn't know that she awakened her Mangekyo. And we've seen this before, when Kakashi and Obito unlocked theirs, but only Obito was aware of it, and Kakashi passed out before realizing years later that he already had Mangekyo. And even with Sarada's regular Sharingan, it was revealed by Sakura that she had awakened her Sharingan at a young age without her realizing it, so Sarada already has a history of having certain abilities and not knowing about it. Still, we'd love to see Sarada actually live up to her full potential and not live in the shadow of her teammates. Now, the last point we want to go over is the potential of the power of the soul thorns, and how they might be the key to unlocking more power for Kawaki. We all know that he's in desperate need of a power-up, and if the soul thorns act as the catalyst for the Shinju's powers, then they would be the perfect tools for Kawaki to absorb into himself, as essentially chakra fruits that the Otsukis use to further their own evolution. But this would mean that the original host of the chakra would never recover from their trees if Kawaki consumes it instead. It's either that, or Kawaki will end up absorbing Jura himself, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But what do you think about the chapter and all the developments? Do you guys think that Sarada has chakra issues when it comes to her Sharingan? And what are your thoughts on Kawaki's next power-up? Let us know in the comments and we'll be sure to get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on the like button below and subscribe to the channel for more Boruto content. See you guys in the next one!